Not yet.
Not yet.
This hangout is live. Lady.
Right.
What is this? What are we doing here?
We're doing our weekly show and tell hangout where you, the viewers, show and tell your projects to us and yourselves and each other. So we're going to call on people as we see you in the bottom of our little boxes. Take like maybe 3 to 5 minutes to quickly show off, talk about your project. It doesn't have to be finished. It's also hard to do live demos. So maybe get your project ready.
Yeah.
So when we call on you, you're all set and ready to go. We'll start with...
We got a full house. This is also in celebration of MakerCon that's going on. And Maker Faire. Our little show and tell is like a Maker Faire every week. We like to think of it that way.
Yeah.
So starting with some folks on the Adafruit team. Noah and Pedro, show us what you're up to.
Hey guys. This week we're at the Mini Pop 4. Oh, we made an armband for it.
Oh wow.
Oh great. So when you run really fast, it displays Pac-Man.
Yeah, totally. So the Mini Pop 4 is really awesome because it does that. But what's even cooler is that we made a case for it, and we also made an armband out of NinjaFlex, so it's really flexible.
Oh, neat.
Cool. Yeah. So this is the project that's going to be live tomorrow. So be sure to check it out.
Yeah, and of course you can get all the 123D files and STLs on our Thingiverse page, so you can update to whatever pattern you guys like.
Yeah, totally.
You guys are like NinjaFlex masters.
Yeah, you could totally make it like maybe for your neck or something, or your
or your dog.
Or your dog. Yeah, sure.
Back to an animal.
Yeah, another cool thing about it is that we had to make this custom potentiometer because the clearances on the USB port kind of made it so that the blue potentiometer was being hidden from the case. So we whipped up this cool little knob and Adafruit Black. So
okay.
And that's pretty much it. Ooh, yeah.
The nice thing about Adafruit Black is everything comes in Adafruit Black.
It's a special, very dark, cold black though.
Yeah, it's blacker than black. And then what do you think you guys are going to do for next week?
So for next week, we got...
I can leap out of it.
Mounting for a 501 Manfrotto tripod. So going outside with that weird thing that it comes with, you can use a regular standard tripod to view the stars, and we'll attach a phone mount and a Raspberry Pi camera mount with that. And really quick design tip that we just got in for holding all your prints down when you're using blue painter's tape, instead of using this little dinky one that always seems to come up and ruin all your prints.
Yeah.
Bro, with the nice logo.
Whoa, it comes in a roll like that?
Yeah, I know, right? I think they actually make these in like these ginormous tubes.
They just cut them.
They just slice them, yeah.
So this would probably be a really good thing to carry into shop in addition to all the 3D printing accessories that we have. This has gone through, I think, like 20 different prints, and I haven't needed to change it yet. It's a little bit thinner, so it's a little bit harder to get on, but it sticks really well, and all the prints, even after you rip them off, it stays on there really good. So this little design tip there, use bigger roll of blue tape.
Okay, very cool. And then we're going to move on to folks, but I asked this to Matt earlier today, but I want to ask you guys, in one sentence, what do you think of the Autodesk open source 3D printer that they announced today?
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'll play devil's advocate and say this is coming from a visual effects company. I think it's clearly a render.
Excellent.
It's actually a real machine.
Sure.
So you want to see the I want to see the real thing too. But what an interesting thing for them to launch and start out saying open.
Yeah, so it makes sense with all of their 123D family of apps that they would make their own machine, and I mean they're so profit. Every kid that goes in is gonna go maybe start off with Tinkercad 123D. But then when you grow up, you want to, get Maya or, AutoCAD, so they get you from the start. So it's a really cool, I think it's a perfect way to go. I mean, you already got your echo of what you're already making money off of. They're gonna use your software anyway, so.
Yeah,
right.
they get you in with the software, and then they sell you on the razor blades, or 3D printers is the next razor blade.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you guys so much, and everyone, don't forget to check on Thursday on the Adafruit blog for their latest
3D Thursday
video. So Noah and Pedro, hang around as we move on to the next person. Kevin had come in. Kevin, unmute your mic and show us your project.
I made a Minty Boost backpack solar.
Minty back boost.
Got the big battery that you carry, the big solar panel. Put it all together. I did find some limitations on the circuits as far as current. The chip is rated up to 1 amp, but at 1 amp with a low battery, it produces a lot of heat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We also added the heat sink.
Okay.
It's still going to probably slow down, but I figure it'll charge better with the heat sink than it would without.
And have you taken it for a spin yet? Have you actually walked around outside? And...
Yeah, I used it for a few hours with my phone using a graphic heavy.
Hey.
Hello.
And my niece wants to get on it.
Hello.
But,
How's it going?
I use an app that uses GPS and really drains batteries fast for hours without the battery going down with it plugged into this.
Cupcakes.
Oven a little different, made it removable by using magnets.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah. So in the winter, you can remove it. You don't have to like unsew it or unattach it.
Yeah, anytime I want to not use it or stop using it, I can just take it off and stick it inside the backpack or do that kind of thing.
Very cool.
Nice backpack.
If you take some photos and such, Kevin, let us know. And of course, you get an As Seen on the Show and Tell sticker. Email support@adafruit.com. I think you could probably put it on the panel, not in the front, in the back. keep all the sun rays.
We'll even give you 2 stickers. One for your kind assistant.
Yeah.
For
the other engineer.
Who's giving you cupcakes.
Yeah.
Cake object.
All right.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Okay. Next up, C. Scott. Hey, C. Scott. How are you?
Hello. Okay.
We're gonna hang out.
I had to find the microphone button. Testing.
Hello.
You sound great.
Last week I showed you really quick my Croby-X. Croby-X is my 4-voice recreation of a legendary synthesizer called the Oberheim OBX, which was used by Rush pretty much through the 80s and Van Halen and so on, just to name a few. I mean, go Google like Rush Subdivisions official video and you'll see Geddy Lee playing it. Anyway, a friend of mine about a year ago brought his to a synthesizer meet, and I just said, I have to have this sound. So I could look on eBay, and I laugh at the price of the broken ones.
Yeah.
$7,000, and it may not work. So, there's a fair number of circuit boards in it. Let me see if this works real quick. I don't know if this comment shows up in the toolbox or not, but there's an example of if that showed up on the toolbox comment tracker of what an OBX looks like. Well, I decided that, I'll just make one.
Yeah.
So it all starts with the voice board. This is a vintage OBX voice card. And it is all discrete except for one section, and I'll get to that in a moment. But, Oberheim had to use the parts available of the day. There's lots of 741s on here, and lots of mica capacitors and what have you. He doesn't have the nice polypropylene and whatnot available today. So even so, he made a very nice machine. Now, the 2 chips here, these are custom envelope generators. These were designed by Doug Curtis, Curtis Electromusic Specialties, who probably had more chips and synthesizers than anybody else. He passed away about 5 years ago, but his legacy lives on. The problem is nobody makes those chips anymore. So when I went to make my voice card, I had to build discrete equivalent circuits of each envelope generator. They're 2 quadrant multipliers. They use 2 exponential converters, one when it's positive going and one when it's negative going. But there's 2 sets of those because there's 1 filter envelope generator and 1 amplifier envelope generator. That was the toughest part of the whole project. That, and I didn't want to build this thing that was 75 pounds, 4 feet wide, 3 feet deep, and just a pain to lug around. So I don't know if you can see it. It is on my rack behind me here. This is a 4-voice Croby-X. Let me get this camera a little closer. If I can get it untangled. Let me see there. 4-voice Croby-X. This is the first one I built. Right now it has a test board in it. I'll pull it off here in a moment so you can see what I'm doing. But it is fully analog. There is no intelligence in it whatsoever other than a little digital noise generator PIC chip and 1 gate package to help with some of the waveform select switches. This is why you see this 4-channel MIDI CV and gate unit connected to it. which is connected back to my studio here. And we had trouble with the audio last week, but let me see how. Can you hear this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This is a big synthesizer. It is a very powerful sound. I mean, you know.
This is fantastic.
I tried to keep as many of the user performance controls as I could. Now, these panels are tiny because I originally built what I call the host board, the thing that hosts the voice boards, to test voice boards. I didn't really envision it being a finished instrument on its own, but it kind of took on its own life, and, well, this is my finished instrument with a life of its own. But you can do things like the...
Alright. This is nice. We're going to have you play us out. We do have to get to the other 6 people, though.
I'm going to end up listening to this all night.
We have to come back next week, though, and maybe we'll play some more. That's a super nice analog sound.
This is great, Scott. So could you hang out to the end of the show and tell them we might have a couple people playing us out? Is that all right?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Real quick, here's the back of the single voice unit.
Oh, wow.
That's nice. That's nice.
This is an experimental voice card mounted. Okay, on to the next.
All right. Well, you got a lot of stuff going on.
I could spend hours looking at synths.
Don't forget to email support@adafruit.com so you get a sticker. I have a feeling you're going to get a sticker for each one of these.
Yeah, stickers. Okay,
all right. Next up, we're going to go to Vincent. Hey, Vincent.
Hey, Vincent.
Your mic.
Yeah. Okay, so I came on a few weeks ago with this Panahoon vibrating watch of mine, and I'm kind of happy but also surprised to be able to tell you that it's still running on the same battery that it had when I last got you guys. And so it's been like over a month, and yeah, they're just fun actually. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. I found actually that I don't notice it as much throughout the day as I thought it would, but I still really like it, and it's been helping me a lot in college and stay on top of my schoolwork and stuff. Yeah. And then also I wanted to show you this other project I've been working on with the change cameras. I just built this Strap console mini 3D printer, and I just finished it today. Right now it's printing like a little pen stand. And actually, I just printed this mount with it to mount the electronics, because before that I actually had it taped on with a ruler and some painter's tape just to hold it in place. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. It's working really well. I just need a stand for the filament, and yeah.
It's beautiful.
This is great. Well, of course, your printer gets a sticker. So email support@adafruit.com. Yeah, I have a little droid friend now. Okay.
Thank you, Vincent.
Thank you.
Next up,
Janin.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Janin, unmute your mic and
hey.
Here's your project.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yep, sound great.
Hi. So this really isn't isn't a project. It's just a tiny PCB design. So I actually designed it 2 weeks ago when I was studying for finals. So this is I call it a LiPo booster on the bottom. I don't think you can see it, but it just converts the LiPo battery to 5 volts. It's based on a chip from TI that they just released at the beginning of this year. It's the TPS 61230, and yeah, I spent some time trying to make it as small as possible. So here I can actually turn it on. There's a switch there, and there's an indicating LED.
Yeah.
So I designed it to be very breadboard friendly. So you can either mount it this way when you have a tiny breadboard, or if you have a bigger breadboard, you can just plug it directly into the power rail, like on the top.
That's cool.
That's nice.
So yeah, so just to demonstrate this, I just plug it in here, and if I turn it on, hope we can get some music.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah, I didn't finish the music, so that's just it. So I just needed the 5 volts so that the Pro Micro can run at 60 megahertz.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it.
Right, that's
Great.
a nice board.
Great project. I like how you put it together so it could go either way on the breadboard.
No, that's very elegant. I like that
Very
little,
smart.
like, it's size so it fits into a breadboard sideways. That's a good idea.
Okay. Well, email support@adafruit.com and you get an SC on the show and tell sticker, which can fit nicely on the
On the back.
breadboard.
Yeah, on the
Okay. Next up, Carmelito. If I got it right.
Carmelito.
Carmelito. Hello.
Hey, can you guys hear me? Yeah, you've got the presentation
You
right.
sound great.
Okay. So basically what I have is a Yun project. I don't know whether you're able to see. Let me try and get
No,
it.
it's bright.
Yeah, so okay, so what I have there is basically a photocell, a DTH sensor, I have a vibration sensor and the NeoPixels. Okay, and I've integrated that with the Yun. And what this does is basically checks the health of this money plant here. Okay. So one of my friends, they moved from Stanford to California, so they wanted to trust me with their plants. So what I did was build this real quick thing where she could get a status update with respect to how a plant is doing. And I also have a webcam down here which takes pictures. Okay. So the best part about the Adreno Yun is since it has a Linux part of it and you could have Python programs running on it, therefore you could do various kinds of stuff. So what I did was used a Twitter library called Tweepy, okay, so which does all the OAuth and all the other good stuff for you. And it's pretty simple in terms of directly using console and calling the Twitter library to tweet. Okay, so in terms of a demo, what I could do is quickly move the vibration sensor. So this is, so what this would do is basically, I don't know whether you guys can see the lights change to blue. Okay, so basically what this does is once it vibrates, it basically detects if you have a cat in the house, if someone is trying to move your circuit around while cleaning, it will send a picture to the Twitter account for this particular money plant.
Okay.
Very cool.
This is the future of pet sitting and plant sitting.
That's right.
People would be like, look, you can take care of my plant, but I demand Twitter updates.
That's right.
Every hour.
every plant will have 15 tweets of fame. Okay. Well, if you post up your project somewhere, send us a link so we can cover it on the blog.
Cool.
And
sure,
also,
I've got a blog grid, so I'll send out the blog link.
Oh yeah,
yes,
please do. And of course, send an email to support@adafruit.com, and you get an as seen on the show and tell sticker. So next up, we're going to go to David, and then we're going to go to Lucas, and then we're going to try to go to Tony. This is a marathon and a sprint all at the same time.
Okay.
Go ahead, David.
All right. So this week I'm actually going to be throwing a Tronathon. And,
a Tronathon?
Yep. And so I built this, which I'll turn off my light. And what it is a sound reactive light ring. So I'm going to play some of your music so it's not off limits.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know if you can see that.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Anyway, so the bass is down here, your mids and your trebles, and then left and right.
Oh, that's cool.
And yeah, I've turned this on while watching a movie before, and you end up watching this instead of the movie.
Yeah, so it's a circular equalizer. I've not seen that before.
Yeah, and so in the back you have an Arduino Nano, which is hooked up to two MSG EQ7 chips and a TLC 5940 for pulse width modulation. And that's it. It's actually quite simple. Still has a few pins left for other features if I want them.
This is actually the prototype for Apple's new Beats by Dr. David.
Yeah.
This is just a very big one, and there's two of them, and they go on the side. Yeah.
They're overhead earphones.
Yeah. All right. And so during the Tronathon, it's just watching both Trons, because there's only...
Yeah, although it's starting to turn into watch Tron Legacy and then one other sci-fi because people are getting sick of the first one.
Yeah, I think Tron Legacy is good, but the dialogue wasn't so good. So just like playing music over the movie, it looks real. Yeah. The movie looks beautiful. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So all right, well, thank you so much, David. Email support@adafruit.com. You get a as seen on the show and tell sticker, which will fit nicely behind.
On the back or front.
On the back, yeah. But that's where you can show people. Look, it was on the show and tell. All right, Lucas.
Thanks.
Let's go, Lucas.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound great.
All right, cool. Turn my light here. What I got is an LED top hat I built not too long ago.
Yes, this is LED Top Hat Week.
Top Hat Week. Top Hat Week.
The 144 meter. What's that?
It's LED Top Hat Week. This is great.
Yeah.
We've seen a couple good top hats.
Yeah, so I've got 4 sequences programmed into it, and I don't know how much you can see at the inside. It's got just each row connected to a pin using the Octo library that Paul developed for the Teensy. And using the little mode selector, there's 4 different patterns. The first one is, turn it on real quick. It's going to be bright, but it's basically this eye, and it blinks, it looks around, it rotates to a different place, and it looks around again.
Nice.
Creepy.
And it's using an image that I converted into an RGB array, and just kind of baked into the actual code. And so that goes randomly. There's also this guy here. It's the annoying mode. It just kind of pulses. This one's fully procedural, so it's using cosine lookup tables and just different kind of animations there. And then the third one is kind of a combination of the two. It's got a file texture. It kind of slowly rotates around and using difference blending mode, which is like a blending mode out of Photoshop. I just looked at the mathematics for it and kind of replicated that. And the little rotating lines are like a cosine lookup thing again. And then the last one is, if I can get it work here, this guy here. A little more simple, but it's just stepping through different
That's nice.
Versions of another cosine lookup animation. A lot of fun to make. And I'll be wearing it to a few music festivals this summer, so yeah.
All right.
So you used all that trigonometry you learned in grade school. You could call up your 7th grade teacher and say, I made this awesome LED hat thanks to Sun Custom.
Yeah. Well, think about the kids that are in 7th grade now. They finally can immediately apply it and say, wow, this is like really useful. So,
Yeah.
All right. Well, Lucas, if you send some photos or anything, let us know.
I have a link to blog and video. I can put that in the comments.
Oh, yeah, please do.
Please do.
And email support@adafruit.com, and your hat gets an as seen on the show and tell sticker. And we're going to wrap up the show with Tony. And then right after Tony's done, if he can go through pretty quick, we're going to go back to C. Scott, and maybe
Power chords.
he can play us out.
Yeah.
So, Tony, show us what you got. Speed round this week.
I'll make this real quick. So I have a real fast Yoon hack to show. And the Yoon, it runs OpenWRT. And let me share my desktop real quickly. And so I found that there's some cool packages in OpenWRT. Can you see the desktop?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So there's a package called Lucy App Statistics, and normally that's used to show things like processor load and stuff like that in Lucy, and Lucy is the web administration panel in OpenWRT, and it runs on the Yoon. And so I found if you put a little bit of Python glue code in, you can actually send data from sensors on the Yoon to this statistics system. So it's really nice in that this is just the web panel in the Yoon, and it's showing a graph of a photocell that I have and a temperature sensor hooked up to the Arduino. And it gives you a really nice way to drill into the data so that you can look at it kind of hourly, you can look at it daily. So if I switch it over, you kind of see for the last, since the weekend I've been running this, what the light and temperature looks like in the room here. And it's really easy to use it. So this is the serial output, or the console output from the Yoon. And you can just see that any name, value is what's read and turned into a graph here. So it's a really easy way to throw some data onto a chart and just watch it over time on the Yoon.
That's cool. Right. This is the second project tonight of Yoon. I'm starting to see lots of Yoon projects because of this Internet of Things thing going on.
Yeah, it's like a great Arduino.
Powerful, but still has Arduino simplicity.
All right, Tony, while you continue to collect up the as seen on the show and tell stickers, make sure you drop us an email, and maybe this awesome project will end up on a guide one day.
Oh, yeah, I'll turn this into a tutorial.
Oh, great. Okay, C. Scott.
Play us out.
Play us out.
Are we ready?
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we're ready.
I should talk about like the Tron soundtrack. This is good for the Tron disc too. The future.
All right, thank you so much.
Yay!
Woo! All right. Thank you, everyone. We're here every single week, Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All participants in this show and tell get an as seen on the show and tell sticker. Thank you, Vincent. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Noah and Pedro. Thank you, Lucas. Thank you, David. Yeah. Thank you, David. Thank you, C. Scott, and thank you, Carmeletto.
This is like my dream. It's all like LEDs and analog synths.
That's right.
I'm so glad I started this company like 7 years ago. So like now I can hang out and just like see other people's LED synth projects.
That's right. It took 7 years, but we're all here now.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see everybody.
Busy, but I have bare boards too.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll see everybody on Ask an Engineer in 2 minutes.